workshop, you thought that you would give it a go?
Okay. In the past, I would have seen the workshop and not kind of, it wouldn't have resonated with me. I wouldn't have thought I needed it. You know, I'm a qualified social worker. I'm a qualified life coach. I've been for counselling. I've done loads of personal development courses. I thought I thought I'd sorted all my stuff. I was okay. And then last year, I had a breakdown physically and mentally. And I put 5 stone on, and I realised that my relationship with food and my abusing myself with food was still a connection from childhood abuse where food was a payoff. And I realised that I needed to look deeper into that, though, because although I thought I'd, you know, got everything sorted, that was still a big major part of where I went when I was unhappy. So my friend Jen introduced me to you, and I looked at the community, you know, read the posts and everything, and then I saw you were doing the 2-day course, so I signed up for the 2-day course, and it's really been really more than helpful, because it's allowed me to really look deeper into my childhood and connect with my child, where I thought, you know, oh, I've spoken to my child and everything, but I hadn't really connected, and I hadn't really connected with the effect that my parents' behaviour had on me, or what I'd made it mean, and where it all came from. So it's all just making more sense, really. It's just like we're an onion, isn't it? And we're just peeling another layer, another layer. And I did the worksheets, but I do keep going back to them. And the more I'm delving and digging a little bit deeper and understanding a little bit more. So it's not just a 2-day course, Kathy. If people, once you've got the worksheets, you can keep going back over them and looking at them a bit deeper, you know, and working on yourself. So it doesn't just stop with the 2 days. If you want to use the material that you give. So for me, it's really opened my mind and allowed me to heal a lot more on a deeper level.
I'm so glad you said that about being able to keep using the worksheets, because the whole idea of this workshop is to enable you to, you know, you sort out this one reason you come, and then maybe 6 months down the line, something else comes up. And with the work that we've done and the knowledge that you now have about patterns and how things affect you, that you've got the tools, all of the tools available, so that you can keep healing. So to hear you say that is fantastic, because that's what I really wanted.
Yeah, and every time you go back, you see something different. It's like watching a film or reading a book, isn't it? You watch it and then you watch it again. Oh, I didn't notice that last time, and you get something different from it. So yeah, I go back quite a lot and go through them, because the more I've delved into it, the more I realise I've got unresolved issues and things that I don't understand. And I'm starting to understand my own behaviour a lot more. You know, I would have said, oh, of course I love myself. No, I didn't love myself. And it was where kind of, I'm getting where I kind of disconnected from myself in childhood, really. And where that all started. So I would say to people, even if you've done counselling, you know, it's a different kind of delving. It's a different kind of journey. It's a different healing journey.
And you've really jumped into this because you're determined to make it work. But like you said, you wouldn't have seen those things that you saw since doing the work before, because we only ever see what we're ready to see.
Exactly. And I'm determined I'm not going to stay feeling how I've been feeling. You know, I really just crashed and my life felt empty. I was suicidal. I've put this 5 stone on, my whole body's in pain. I mean, I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia, I can't say it properly, on Friday. And, I've been looking at letting stuff go and looking at food and everything. I'm not going to take medication. I am going to self-heal, but I am not stopping in this pain. I've got a life. I'm not, and a lot of it is I've got to let stuff go. I've got to understand stuff and let stuff go.
And it's brilliant that you're on this journey when you've got that diagnosis, and you may have noticed already that you're in less pain, that you have more energy.
I think it wasn't a shock because I knew there was something, but it's took months and months, sorry, to get the diagnosis. So it was kind of, when he said it on Friday, it made sense, but then I had to process it of what it meant and how I was going to get out of it, really. So the weekend, I've really been doing a lot of research on food and what to eat and what not to eat. And, rather than, I'm not just going to let them give me medication. I don't want it, because I can self-heal, and I will.
And that's what you'll find. You'll find, so it's one of the, we're going a bit off course here, but one of the major things that people find when they've got fibromyalgia is that they've had childhood trauma or some kind of trauma. So
the consultant actually said that to me.
Oh, that's
he said,
good.
Yeah, he said research shows 99.9% of people with this condition have had traumatic experiences in childhood. Yeah. And
isn't it great that they're putting the two together so that they can work on that rather than just medicate?
Yeah, he was absolutely brilliant. I said to him, I don't want medication. My mom was addicted to cocodamol. I'm not going there. I will self-heal. And doing the course, it's really helping me, because it's helping me to understand a little bit more. And you said to me that my mom was a narcissist. Did I realise my mom was a narcissist? And I got all defensive, didn't I? No, actually, I didn't want her to be a narcissist. And the fact that I'm actually divorcing a narcissist who probably is a psychopath, because is a different level to what my mom was, that nevertheless doesn't mean she didn't have a lot of narcissistic traits. And the reason that I've attracted narcissists into my life, and my dad was emotionally unavailable, and that's what I've attracted all my life. I've attracted men who have been emotionally unavailable, and I've been the rescuer and the one who have wanted to make things better at my own cost. And that cycle's got to stop.
Do you feel empowered knowing now why you did the things you did, or you feel the way you did, or you react how you do? Is it empowering to know why and to be able to stop it?
Yeah, definitely, because it's made me re-look at my self-love and my self-worth and my boundaries. My boundaries were like really weak, and now I am able to say no. And I think in the past, I never used to think. I used to jump into everything. Oh, that's a good idea. Or, I'd jump into everything, but never think of the consequences. And now I stop and think, why are you doing this? And do some research on it first and find out about what it's about, rather than that, oh, that's a good idea, and in you jump and get burnt every single time.
That's right, because it saved you, didn't it? It saved you being a guarantor for a friend who did a midlife flip.
Yeah. And lots of things that I've said, no, this is my boundary. My grandchildren are finding it quite difficult because they live with me, and really they haven't had any boundaries. They've done things and like I've not said anything. In fact, my granddaughter said to me the other day, Nan, I think you're bipolar. I said, why? And she said, 1 minute you're all right and the next minute you're in a mood. And I said, no, what's happening is I'm giving you a boundary, you're pushing it. In the past, I would have let it go. Now I'm thinking, no, she's pushed that boundary. So I'm then coming back to you and talking to you about the boundary that you've pushed. So it's not that I'm bipolar, it's that I'm sticking to my boundaries. You think you've got away with it, I'm thinking about it, then I'm coming back to you and saying, you haven't accepted that boundary, you've overstepped that boundary, which she doesn't want to hear, obviously, because she's not used to having them boundaries.
Yeah. So grandma getting boundaries is now impacting the grandchildren.
Well, yeah, and they don't like it, do they? But I sat and talked to them the other night, and they get it. You know, we don't like it, but we get it. We understand.
And how fantastic is it that you were able to acknowledge this, realise this, and be able to express how you feel rather than just letting them do whatever they wanted and feeling bad about it.
Yeah, yeah. Or feel then becoming the victim of nobody's listening. And that's one of my triggers, that if I feel unacknowledged and unlistened to, it's one of my triggers, because that's how I felt as a child. So it's identifying when I'm getting angry and hurt, what's that about? What hasn't healed in me? And it's acknowledging that it's my stuff, it's me, but that's my responsibility to make sure that they do listen, because that's my boundary.
And isn't it fantastic when you can stop feeling like a victim and take back your power?
Yeah, like moaning, nobody listens, I might just as well talk to the wall. Well, no. No, actually, stop. You've overstepped your boundary.
Fantastic. You have done so well. You've just jumped in and you've taken everything on board and you've actually seen how it fits in. You've really made it work for you. And thank you so much for doing this 5 times before we've actually got it to work. So just before we end, if people are looking at this workshop, as they do, and thinking, yeah, this would be great for me, but I haven't got the money, or I don't think I can find the time, what would you say to those people?
How important are you? How important is your future? How important is it that you invest in yourself? For the money it costs, you would go for a meal and spend that, really. You know, if you go out with your family, invest in yourself, because it really is worth it. And it's not just the 2 days. You've got the tools after that, and you can keep on working, you know, and use the group. Even after the 2 days, you've got the tools, share it with the group, be interactive, so we all continue to support each other. You know, it doesn't have to just think, oh, I've got to spend that money for the 2 days, because it isn't just for 2 days. You've got the tools, we can all support each other in the group. That's what the group's for, isn't it?
It is. I love that. It is. It's a support group. It's to help everybody. And I love
call. Oh, I've got that from that, and I'm struggling with that. It might be something I'm struggling with, and somebody else has dealt with it, and we can just help each other to see, because sometimes we have spots that we can't see. So supporting each other after the 2 days is brilliant.
I love that. I really do. Thank you, Beth, so much for your time. And I will see you very soon. Thank you.